It's time for the sandbox news. This week, there's not really anything new. There are some new clothes, enchanted leaderboards. Soundscapes are finally working. There's fast shader compiles, new compile notifications. Also, I'm going to be running a sandbox contest in October. There are a few small construct updates. Looks like all of the missing textures and errors have been fixed. However, there are some new bugs on construct. Anything that was connected by a rope, oh, it's still connected to each other. So I guess anything that was connected by a rope to the world just doesn't work anymore. It's just flopping around on the ground. The same thing can be seen in here. Looks like the ropes are actually completely gone for these lights. That's kind of strange. There was a fix for dynamic props, not updating their animations on the client. So the parking entrance gates that were here used to have broken collisions, and that was fixed, but now they're actually gone because prop dynamic was deleted. It doesn't exist anymore. It's been replaced with a new animated prop, which, as far as I'm aware, is exactly the same thing as dynamic prop. However, it's just with a different name, so it breaks every single map. So any map that had a dynamic prop like the parking gates here, or any map that had doors, some of the doors, it doesn't look like this one has been affected. This door is missing its door handle, and that's because it was a dynamic prop, but dynamic props were deleted, so there's just no door handle here. This is an issue that affects a ton of maps, so they're just broken now until they get updated, or until prop dynamic gets its name changed back. I'm not really sure why they decided to change the name. I think that's kind of strange. There are some new clothes, including this polo t-shirt. It's so dirty, ew. This is what the back side of it looks like. There's also a couple more pieces of clothing. There are black jeans, a black hoodie, and a black beanie. It looks like the black jeans are pretty standard. The black hoodie has a triangle with an eye on it, so it's very interesting. And the beanie is a crate beanie. Very crazy, very interesting. There's a really neat thing about this beanie. It's kind of hard to tell, but oh, you can see it here. This beanie actually has a jiggle bone on it, so it wiggles around a little. It actually looks a little goofy right now. It kind of looks like gelatin how it's moving. The leaderboard systems have been updated. I don't think you're going to notice anything different as a regular player. I believe these have been switched to use Steam leaderboard systems. I'm not entirely sure how that works. I don't know if that actually means anything important. We can click on the different leaderboard categories and actually see the different scores. So Amazing Game has daily and permanent forever scores, and it looks like nobody's actually completed the daily today. However, I'm 18th place in the world for the deepest that anyone's ever gotten. So I've gotten to floor 27. Previously, I think this would either just tell you a random category, or it was every single category combined together into one big leaderboard, which didn't really make any sense. Soundscapes and sandbox have finally been fixed. Soundscapes are the ambient sounds in levels. If you listen closely, you can hear a bunch of birds chirping in the distance and some gusts of wind. If I go inside, it should switch to electrical hum, so it sounds like I'm inside. If I go back outside, it sounds like I'm outside again. So these are called soundscapes, and Sandbox didn't have these for the longest time. Every single map in Sandbox was completely silent. And then soundscapes were actually added. However, they were totally busted. They didn't work properly at all. So maps just continued to be completely silent. But now, they're actually fixed and they work properly now. Unlike the ladders, which it doesn't work. This is really crazy. I'm really excited that we finally have working soundscapes in Sandbox. After over a year, they work. Wow! Now, hopefully we'll start to hear actual sounds in maps instead of every single map being completely silent. There are new fast shader compiles. So by default, if you're creating a shader in Sandbox, it will now compile quicker, but with a less optimized, lower FPS version. This will make developing shaders a lot quicker and easier to do. However, you'll need to click up here, add on compile shaders to, I didn't mean to actually click that. I wonder how long it's gonna take. You have to click that to compile the full, proper, high FPS shaders. So it looks like it brings up this compile window. This might have been a mistake compiling these. I don't think I can cancel it either. And Sandbox is running at 3 frames per second, so let's just go ahead and restart. there are new compile notifications. So if I compile my sandbox game, we'll see new notifications popping up here. So that's really crazy. It tells me everything that's been obsolete. So the glow is obsolete. Actually, the glow isn't obsolete, it was just straight up deleted. I need to remove that from my code at some point. I'm going to be running a sandbox Halloween game jam. Now, I don't have the exact details worked out yet. However, I know it's going to be 2 weekends at the end of October. It's probably going to start on October 21st and end on the 30th. These dates are subject to change, however, I'm pretty sure that's what it'll be. There'll be more information available next week. That's it, that's all the sandbox news. Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you to my Patreon supporters.